Hello friends, welcome back to Digitalk. So now we have Oracle OHS HTTP server 14.120 release in the market some time back from the Oracle, okay, which is the web server from Oracle. Okay, so the current version that is in now 2025, okay, which is 14.120, which is the latest version, and these are the previous versions. Okay, the latest previous version was 12.140, and after 12.140 now we are on the 14.120. Okay, so there are a lot of enhancement in this 14.120 version. Okay, and that I'm going to explain in this session what are the new features that has been incorporated in the 14.120 version of the OHS. Okay, so let's talk about one by one of each. The very first thing is Oracle HTTP server now support the latest version of TLS 1.3. Okay, so till 12.214, okay, as far as I know, the supported highest level of supported TLS version was 1.2. Okay, even I saw a certain kind of a contradictions in some documentation about the TLS, the 12.214 support the 1.3 as well, but I don't think TLS 1.3 supported in 12.214. So now in 14.120 version, okay, this TLS 1.3 is fully supported. Okay, which is this protocol that we use for securing the applications. Second is Oracle HTTP server now support Apache HTTP server version 2462. Okay, so this Oracle OHS or HTTP server, it is a web server from Oracle, but this is certain kind of a enhancement on top of the open source Apache HTTP server, right? So now, whenever this OHS server is released from the Oracle, okay, the corresponding enhancement in the open source versions or the new features are completely inbuilt in the latest version of the Oracle HTTP as well, right? Because as I said, it is completely built on top of the Apache HTTP server, which is the base web server for your Oracle OHS HTTP, right? So now the Oracle HTTP server that has been released in 14.120, okay, it completely supports your 2.4.62 with enhancement and latest security fixes. Third one is important. Your Oracle HTTP server support only auto login only wallets. Okay, so when we create the wallet for securing the traffic in the OHS, or when in simple way we can say when we configure the SSL in the OHS, what we do, we create the wallets, and then inside the wallet we place our all the certificates for securing the applications. So we have some different kind of a wallets. Okay, and one of the other wallet that is available as of now till 12.214 is auto login, auto underscore login. Okay, and apart from that, we have one more wallet which is called auto login only. So in 14.120, the supported wallet is only auto login only. Okay, the difference is that when we create the wallet with auto login, okay, for this we need to provide the password of the wallet. Okay, for addition and deletion of the certificates from your wallet. Okay, but when we use the auto login only, okay, this doesn't require every time we do any kind of addition, deletion, or viewing the certificate from the wallet. So this is the only one supported in your 14.120. Now, if you are trying to upgrade from some previous version and you are using the auto login wallet, okay, then there is a script, okay, provided by the Oracle. When you are going to upgrade your OHS from previous version to 14.120, then you can convert your wallet from auto login to auto login only. So that means this step is only valid for you if you are using the auto login wallet. Okay, then you need to upgrade it to the auto login only. Okay, and for this the detailed instructions and the script that has been provided with the 14.120 HTTP, right? So this is one of the major enhancement specifically in terms of the functionality. Now, one of the topmost you can say the enhancement in the OHS, specifically when we talk about the high availability and load balancing, your HTTP 14.120 support the intelligent load balancing, okay, which is an alternative of the default round robin method. So for this one I have already posted few videos earlier as well, what is the enhancement in the WebLogic 14.120 along with the OHS features where I have explained everything. Okay, but in this session I'm going to explain you again what exactly it means. So it is an alternative of default round robin method. That means with the OHS, the only load balancing algorithm that we have is the round robin. That means in the backend, if we have two servers and in the front we have configured the OHS, the traffic will always go in the round robin. That means first here, second here, third here, fourth here. This is the default algorithm of your web server. Okay. Now, apart from this, we have one more algorithm that has been incorporated, which is the intelligent load balancing. That means the load balancing which is happening to the back end, it is intelligent. Now, how it is making intelligent? Okay, let me tell you about that one. But one more information: this particular intelligent load balancing in the OHS 14120 is applicable only for WebLogic server 14120 backend servers. That means this feature you can configure only for load balancing the request to the WebLogic server 14120. So this information is not there in the OHS new features document. This you will get in a separate some different location. So I have added it here. So when we talk about the intelligent load balancing, make sure it is only applicable for WebLogic server 14120. Now let me tell you what exactly is mean. What is the intelligent load balancing? So what is happen? As I said, we have a OHS in front, and in the backend we have two managed servers, and it is sending the request on the round robin basis, right? One here, two here, three here, four here. Now suppose that at any time one of the managed servers is overloaded. It has the 100 number of connections, and here we have only 50 number of connections. That means this is overloaded, or it has a high number of connections in comparison with the first server. But still your OHS will send the request in the round robin, correct? Which is not a smart decision to send the traffic. Ideally, it should send the request to the backend which has the less number of connections, or which is less load in comparison with the other node, right? So cater this demand, this intelligent load balancing feature has been introduced. So that means for enabling this feature, okay, there are two steps: the calculation of the health score of WebLogic managed servers and the selection of managed servers to route the request. So what happened? This integration we do with the help of proxy plugins. We have proxy plugins, right? These plugins we use for the integration with the backend and the OHS, right? So what happened? Your WebLogic server in the backend, which is 14120, okay, is automatically checked for the health score. That means it is automatically generating a certain kind of a health score based on the multiple internal component. Now, what are all those components? It provide a default health check score calculation. The default health check calculation is based on what is the CPU load on your managed server, what is the heap usage, work manager, stuck thread count, data source, pending connections, request count. Okay, so based on all these configurations, a health score is calculated for each and every managed server. Okay, and then it is returned to the proxy plugin. So as I said, this plugin is used for the integration, right, with the backend servers by the web server like OHS. This is the .so files, right? So this information, the health score of all this, the managed server based on all these parameters will be sent back to the proxy plugin, right? So this proxy plugin requests the health score of managed servers through the request header WLX WebLogic request server health proxy. So this is a header, okay, that has been sent when your proxy plugin request for this particular health score from the managed server. Now WebLogic server send the health score of each managed server through the predefined response header, this one. So this is a predefined header. Based on this header, it is going to send the health score to your proxy plugin. So that means if we have a two managed server, both managed server will going to calculate a health score, and then this health score is going to send to your plugin, web server plugin. Suppose the health score of this is 10 and the health score of this is 20 based on all these parameters. Correct? So this health score has been generated. Now, how the managed service is going to be selected? Apart from all the parameters that we have discussed, in addition to that, your plugin also use the active connection count parameter. Okay, to check how many requests are connected or routed to your managed servers. So, right, this is the second parameter, the total number of connection count. How many connections are connected to the backend? Right? So these are the two servers managed server on the backend. This is the OHS. So as I said, there could be 50 users are connected here, and there could be 100 users are connected here. So here we have a less number of users. Here we have a high number of users. Right? So the active connection count is stored at the again at the plugin level. And this active connection count represent how many requests from the proxy plugin is currently served by the managed server. So how many requests are getting processed by the managed server? This is represented by the active connection. Right now, plugin in use the wait least connection routing algorithm to select the next server from the cluster. So now it is going to select weighted least connection routing algorithms. This is the new algorithm that has been incorporated apart from the standard round robin based on active connection counts and based on all these parameters what we have discussed, and based on that there is a score has been generated. right? So based on that, the managed server will going to select the backend server based on the weightage or weighted least connection routing algorithm. So now what will happen? Algorithm select the managed server with the lowest ratio of active connection count and managed server health score, right? So now we have active connection count plus the health score, right? So if we have two managed servers, so wherever the ratio is low in terms of the active connection count and managed server health score, that means the server which is serving the less request and is not overloaded or has the less load in comparison with the other server. So based on that, the server will be selected and the traffic will be diverted. So this ensures the managed server with higher capacities receive the proportional largest share of the workload while preventing overloading the less capable servers, right? So this is called the intelligent load balancing, right? So this is one of the major enhancement apart from this auto login wallet, auto login only wallet feature that has been incorporated, right? Now next one is server name identification, SNI, which allow client to include the requested header host name in the initial message of the initial handshake. Okay, this is now supported. So that means SNI, which is the server name indication, is now supported, where when the client is requested for the host name in the initial message of the SSL handshake. That means whenever we access any of the website like HTTPS and then we provide the DNS, it reaches to the backend web server, right? So now what happened? Let me explain you this in bit detail as well again. Okay. So only one SSL certificate can be used per IP and port, right? So that means we have a server, it has an IP address, and we have a web server running on port 80, right? So if you configure the SSL certificate, okay, then only one SSL certificate is can be configured for the HTTPS connection in this case, where we have the port and this on specific IP address. This is a dependency, right? So now with SNI, you can host multiple HTTPS website on the same IP and port, each in its own certificate. So now with this SNI enabling, we have this machine, as I said, we have a port 80 and then we have an IP address here of this machine. So you can configure the multiple HTTPS certificates, not only single, with the help of incorporation of this SNI. Now how it works, let me tell you quickly. Suppose that we have a server with the IP address 192.0.2.10 and you have a hosted two website. And in web server like OHS, how we host multiple website on the same IP address and port with the help of virtual host, right? So we define the multiple virtual host and each and every virtual host will have the same different DNS. That means we are hosting multiple websites on the same server, on the same web server, right? So these are the two different DNS that we can define in the virtual host 1 and virtual host 2, and we can do the configuration, right? So now in this way, suppose we need a different certificate for this website and we need a different certificate for this site because they are completely different domains. Okay, so that means they will use a different SSL certificate, but they are going to run on the same IP and port, correct, with the help of virtual host. So this SNI allow your OHS, the browser will tell the server I am visiting blog.xml.com. That means whenever the request will go from the browser to your backend OHS, okay, so this request will tell to which site I am going to visit, and based on that, the corresponding server will be initiated or HTTP server will be initiated. Okay, so this send the correct SSL certificate, right? So that means now in the same IP and port in a single server, we can host multiple websites with the help of virtual host, which is an old feature. But with the help of SNIs, now we can configure the different SSL certificate for each and every different DNS. So this is the feature that has been now added with the help of SNI. Let me go back with the help of this SNI. Now the last one is WLS SSL wallet is it a parameter is no longer allowed in the location container. So this is the parameter that we use to specify the our key store location, okay, when we configure the OHS with the help of SSL. Now this parameter is no longer be supported in the location container. Now what is the meaning of location container here? Let me tell you. Okay, so when we configure the integration of OHS with the WebLogic server, okay, we define the multiple configurations in the multiple configuration files, right? So we define the different kind of a modules or different kind of a tags there. Like this is the if module, this is a location module. In the location module, what we define the different context for forwarding the request to the backend servers. For example, if you would like to access the console, WebLogic console, that we define in the location, like for forwarding the request to the backend servers. Okay, so now this WLS SSL wallet directory, okay, it is only allowed in the global context. That means if you have defined the virtual host here, so inside the virtual host tag, you can define this SSL certificate. Along with that, if you're defining any some global context, like you're defining this if module for your some of the WebLogic plugin modules, inside that you can define this wallet location, but inside this location you cannot define, right? So this is the meaning of this particular section. Okay, so now these are the important enhancement in the OHS 14.120. Hope everything is clear to you, and if you have still any doubt, any questions you want to clarify, then you can write to us anytime on digitalk.fmw at gmail.com. I'm repeating again, digitalk.fmw at gmail.com. Okay, we'll reply to you as soon as possible. Thank you.